and because you had somebody in your life that filled you up or touched you or made love with you or any of those things, that your brain's going to be like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? You need it. And it's going to go on overdrive. It's like an alert. Like, where is the sex food? Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sevilla. I love, and here we are getting back to living and loving life again after a major life-altering loss, such as being widowed. So tonight I've got another topic I'm going to bring to you, and this is kind of a part 2 to a video that I've done before. And we're going to be talking about the widow's fire. There's complications that come with widow's fire. And if I need to spell out to you what that means, it's that some people, after being widowed, have an extraordinary sexual desire to be touched, to engage with someone else, sometimes anyone else in some circumstances. And so tonight we're going to get into it a little bit deeper than we did in the first video. So stay tuned for this part 2 of widow's fire and this intense sense of sexuality. So I'm going to start us off with a letter from a viewer who wrote in to me about this widow's fire, because I think it encapsulates what so many people are experiencing, and she publicly shared this on the channel. You can find it there, but I am going to read this anonymously from her. Now, please pay attention because this is juicy. So the viewer says, my widow's fire is strictly physical. It's been 6 months and 2 days, and I want physical intimacy so badly. I have zero desire to hug and cuddle and be affectionate or want to love another. The thought alone turns me off. Why? Because I'm still in love with my man. He is my soulmate. I don't think I could ever love anyone the way I love him, but the deep, deep yearning for sex is enough to drive me insane. It's such a confusing feeling, and I feel so guilty. I've never had casual sex before. I haven't acted on these urges because I'm afraid it will worsen my grief and set me back. I just wish this widow's fire would go away. That's the end of the letter. So I'm going to respond to this tonight because this is a pretty big topic for a lot of people, and very few folks are talking about it. And on this channel, we talk about sex. We talk about spirituality. We talk about communicating with the dead on the other side. We talk about our grief journey in its entirety and whatever that is like, including dating. And a lot of you on this channel are dating widows and widowers. And some of you have even been hurt and burned by them. So I'm going to bring that to the table tonight as well and read another letter, because I think that that's kind of juxtaposed to this issue, because some people get caught in that widow's fire, and there's damage that can be done on all sides. Now, when someone gets widowed, it is this extraordinarily confusing, life-altering, life-shattering moment. A bomb has gone off, and it goes off suddenly. Now, whether the person has lost someone like quickly, say they had a heart attack, or they had an accident where they're gone without warning, or there was a crime committed, or someone died by suicide, all of these things may be an unexpected loss. Some people have a long-term loss, or they have very little notice in terms of somebody's illness and they die quickly. But regardless of how the person dies, it's always here 1 minute and gone the next, isn't it? And so that's a massive shock to the system of the person that's been widowed. And this takes time for the brain to accommodate this change, because the person's brain is mapped to have that individual in their world, whether they've been taking care of them long term because they were ill, or whether they were just there every day. That moment that the person disappears, their brain goes into override and shutdown. And if this person had a robust sexual life with the person, or they had lots of cuddles and touches, or maybe they had none because their partner was sick for a long time, the physical need to reconnect with another human being can be mightily powerful. Now, this isn't true for all of you, because I know some of you are going to write in and say, I don't want it. I can't think about it. That's gross. It even disgusts me to think about it. I want to throw up when it comes to mind. And that's okay. That's okay. You get to grieve the way it's arising for you. And that's not wrong, right? But I'm speaking to the people that do have this widow's fire, for men and for women. And I want to give you some things to be able to consider as you move forward in your widow's fire. So number one, what can come up for people is anger, or a sense of rebelliousness about the loss. It can feel like, you left me? Really? You had to die? Or God had to take you from me? Or just this general sense of absence that you're angry about, a sense of the world's against me, a sense of victimhood. Now, I'm not going to judge you for that, because we may all go through that at some point in time, this feeling sorry for yourself. And it's okay. It's okay. It's important not to stay there. It's important not to stay there, but it does come up for people. And when there's that feeling, it's kind of like when you're a teenager and the kids and the parents say, well, no, you can't do that. And then you're like, oh yeah, watch me, you know, because the rules have been stolen from you. The rule of, this is the person I have in my life. This is the person that I love. This is the way my life is going to go. And then boom, it's stolen from you. You may feel incredibly freaking cheated. Really, really cheated. And that may take away your sense of giving a rat's ass. I was going to say something else. That feeling can drive a widow to do some things that they may regret later, that they may not care about it, but they might care about later, because maybe they end up hurting somebody in the process. You ever got mad and drove down the street and just, you didn't care for like a minute and you just floored it because you're mad? It's this sense of entitlement. I'm just going to floor it. I don't care if it's dangerous. I don't care. And, you know, luckily nothing happened, but you kind of acted out of rage or anger. I remember spinning a Brody. I was probably like 18. I was mad about something. Spin a Brody in my car in the ice. I'll show them. Oh, thank God I didn't destroy my car. But that similar kind of complicated emotion on a tenfold level can be what the widow is experiencing. And then you couple that feeling of rebelliousness about, you know, everything was just stolen from me. So what really matters anymore? Who really gives a flying F? Do I matter? Does my life matter? Does anything matter? And then you may take all of your values, all of your morals, all of the things you thought were important to you before and throw them out the window. And you may grab the first guy or girl that you see and sleep with them. I was a good girl before. I was a loyal husband before. But the world, God, an illness, a mental illness, an accident, a crime, stole the love of my life. So F everything. And then sometimes they do F everything. Now, sometimes they get away with it okay. And sometimes other people get caught in the crosshairs of that widow's fire because the other person they find for the hookup maybe isn't looking to just hook up. And so how do you protect yourself and the other person if that's what you're going for, just a one-night stand, or you don't want any attachments? Well, some people are up for that. But if you've lived long enough, whether it's been your experience or somebody else's that you've witnessed, those can get complicated quick, can't they? You just look on this channel, read the comment sections, and you'll see how many people on there have been hurt by widows who were in their widow's fire or their complicated state, dove all in, and then dove right back out, leaving the other person bewildered and wondering what the heck just happened. How do you protect against that? Let's talk about it. Okay, so number one, we all know this, but I'm going to verbalize it. People are not sex dolls. We're not. Now, maybe some people want to be treated like one. But each person you connect with is a human being. And they may be looking for love. So if you do connect with someone for a one-night stand, you have an obligation to be extremely clear about your intentions. And you have to know that those are your intentions, because once you connect with another person physically, bonding hormones go. Okay? This is just a biological fact, particularly for women. It does happen for men as well. We operate a little bit differently. And so it's important to know that the person you're playing with is a real human being with feelings and intentions, even if you have clear communication. However, that being said, you being very clear about what you want and what you don't want is a moral obligation, since this is my opinion channel, to share with the other person. So you may say, hey, I'm really into you, I'm digging this, and I'd love to spend the night with you, and that's all I want, and I don't want another night. Or I may want another night, but I absolutely do not want a relationship. I'm still in love with my late spouse, and I can't give you any of my heart, but I can give you my body. Would you like to share that with me? And then you see what the person says. You've got to give them the right to choose. If you still feel so strongly that you can't love again, but you just want sex, in the case where this woman was writing in. Now, she was writing in saying, I've never had casual sex before, but she's feeling that temptation and the desire being so powerful. Get it? A lot of us get it. You're not alone. And so number two, what can you do about that? If you decide not to engage with another person, well, of course, there's always the avenue of self-pleasuring. But here's the thing. It's really not just about the sex, is it? It's about the human touch. Our bodies crave it. We can't live without being touched. We need to be touched. And so sometimes people will choose to do certain things like go get a massage. Now, not a massage with a happy ending. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going in to have a therapeutic massage and have somebody touch you. So to be able to bring in those feel-good hormones in your body. I don't know if Otis is liking this conversation or not. He looks bored with it. He said, I'm not talking about snacks. He's not interested. So having some form of human touch in your body is going to be really important. And when you meet people, hug them, hug them. I mean, I remember going through a period of my life. This wasn't when I was widowed, but I had gone through a period of my life. I hadn't been touched in a really long time by anybody for, I don't remember what reason, but I had this guy come up as a friend or something. And he came up and he just touched his hands on my shoulders and he just rubbed my back and he didn't ask. He just sort of rubbed my shoulders. I thought I was going to pass out. And it was like, oh. It's like shivers when I'm like, and I realized, oh my God, I hadn't been touched in so long. And so you couple something like that natural human desire with another person. And here's number 3 you've got to watch out for is that even though you have all of these complicated emotions of wanting to be touched, needing to be touched, having this extraordinary sexual desire, so you do connect with someone else, the power of that, the intensity of that could bowl you away and add more complication to your situation. Because then you're like, oh, is this feeling, am I like actually having romantic feelings for this person? Because if you do it in an order of, you meet, you date, fall in love, then you have sexual engagement, then you're more sure of what that means. But if you're just doing it at the outset and you have all of this grief in you and then all of this, expression and this wild abandon, having sex with some other person, and then you feel like, okay, I need to cut it off, but should I keep it going because now I have these feelings and what's real and what's not? Now you've just kind of complicated your situation a little bit more. So this is a vote for the self-pleasuring, go get a massage thing until you're more clear. What you need to be doing, this is number 3 or 4, is engaging in some form of therapy, group, getting with an individual therapist who specializes in grief and loss is my recommendation, not just anybody with letters behind their name. Just somebody who specializes in grief and loss that can really help you navigate this. Spending a lot of time connecting with other people. Don't isolate yourself. And if you are kind of alone, which a lot of people are, you have to start reaching out and creating more community because grief needs to be witnessed. If it's not witnessed, if we're not sharing it, if we don't have that deep sense of, hey, I get it. Do you get it? You understand this? I'm not alone. Oh my gosh, we need that. We need to be witnessed and to be able to share our grief. It can be very transformative and save us so much from the craziness that comes upon us. Okay, so in protecting the self, and I know in this day and age we're very sex positive and it's okay and you should just really into this free love thing. You always want to take precautions, protect yourself, yada yada yada. But that's not what this is about. This isn't about a safe sex video. This is about a safe heart video, yours and the person that you could be engaging with. Now, some of you may have hooked up with the widow who was on the widow's fire train, and then things got complicated, and now you're on my channel trying to figure out what's going on with your widow. Am I wrong? Please comment below. I'd be happy to hear your story. And I usually try to respond at this point in time in the channel. I'm still able to respond to most people. As it grows, it's going to get harder and harder. So if you want to get some kind of a response out of me, I recommend doing it now as of this date, 2023, November. 4 years from now, maybe I won't be able to. Who knows? You can give it a try. Anyways, people can always reach me on my what is it? It's called a website, at my website. And I'll put that here below. You can find me and message me through there anytime. Actually, I do coaching and consultation as well. And I'm a licensed therapist, but this is an opinion channel, not a therapist channel. Got over 20 years of experience. So I bring that to my opinion when I'm sharing this with people. And I'm a widow myself with a ridiculous amount of loss and a lot of experiences of my own that I bring to this channel. So if you're feeling like I'm speaking your heart, because I get it. And I talk to widows and widowers all the time and people who are dating widows and widowers all the time. And this goes both ways. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to share with you an angry letter from someone who's been hurt by a widow. So hang on for that. Okay, hang on. I got to pull this back up. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to read this letter from an angry paramour, somebody who is dating a widow. I think this is a man, I believe. And this is what he had to say. So be prepared for his angry fire. He says, if you are dating a widow, be prepared for being put last. Last place, behind children, behind in-laws, behind close friends, and quite possibly the family dog. You are nothing but a dinner partner, traveling partner that pays for everything. You will invest time and money and love and attention on them only to have them discard you like an unwanted pet dropped off at the pound. You can sympathize with them and console them about their loss. You can empathize with them all you want, but bear in mind, the only thing that is on their mind is their deceased spouse. They will call you by his name by mistake. You can treat them like queens waiting on them hand and foot, and then I'm not ready speech. They will not and refuse to let go of the ex. This person says ex. Ex is not a great term. Late spouse or late partner, but ex. Information. He goes on to say, yes, I am bitter. She admitted her mistake, but does she want to reconcile? She's in love with a memory, and that memory will be her for the rest of her life. Get used to it. And if she still has her wedding pictures out and next to her nightstand and plastered on every wall in her house, be nice and just decline. That's the end of his angry letter. And, you know, I got to say, I can't blame the guy. We're just going to call him a guy because I don't know. That's a public letter on the channel as well in the comment section. He's angry. Somebody that got caught in widow's fire. And I'm reading that to you for you widows that are listening and trying to decide what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And, you know, and to be aware of how you're feeling. And if you don't know how you're feeling, if you're a confused mess, get some support and help so you can work that out a little bit with a grief and loss expert or with a really good, wise, deeply wise friend who can help you, because people are going to tell you, oh, you're not ready. Maybe you're not. Maybe you are. There's a lot of videos on my channel, and I want to invite you to check them out because I address these issues on many different levels. So please go to this channel, and I'm going to put a link here. Can I do that here? You can find it, and I'll put it in the link below. Go to the channel. Just put my name in, Sevilla I Love. You'll find them all on YouTube. This is an existential crisis for the widow. And some people can feel so victimized by their loss that they get selfish. They feel like they've been hurt so badly, they've been robbed so horribly, that they don't care anymore about themselves or anyone else. I'm not trying to make them to be out bad guy. This is maybe a little bit more extreme. There's a bell curve to everything, okay? And we're all somewhere along that bell curve. And some people are extreme outliers, and some people are going to be very vindictive and angry. You've all heard stories about somebody having AIDS and being mad that they had AIDS and then going to give somebody else, and they wake up the next morning to a letter that says, welcome to the world of AIDS. So there's outliers. And then there's somebody who may have good intentions and they may think they're ready, and then they find out that they're not, and then they break somebody's heart. Okay, so we don't know who that angry guy was with, but you've got to know something. Everybody on both sides of the fence. We all bring ourselves to grief. Okay, we all bring ourselves to grief. Now, we may experience different types of behaviors that weren't like us before. Say the person who's only ever been with one or two people in their life. They get widowed. Now they're angry. Now they're sleeping around with several people. And that was very unlike them before. But the anger part, where they want to act out, that's them. Okay? Because not everybody's going to want to do that. We bring our personality to grief. Somebody's being treated horribly, cruelly, callously, deliberately. That's a personality trait. It's not a widow trait. It's a personality trait. Now, if somebody jumps in and makes a mistake and says, I thought I was ready, I thought I was doing okay, and I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to break your heart, then that's a different story. You might still be mad and angry, but what does ready look like? That's the tough part. And what do you do with all of those sexual feelings? You've got to know that your brain's going through a process of remapping and redirecting itself. And because you had somebody in your life that filled you up or touched you or made love with you or any of those things, that your brain's going to be like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? You need it. And it's going to go on overdrive. It's like an alert. Like, where is the sex food, so to speak, that you're used to having? Or where is the comfort, the human touch? Because now you're an adult. And when you're a little kid, you're like, I want to hug mommy. But now you're an adult. So you're like, where is the physical sexual touch? And now your brain's going off. I have an absence. There's a hole in my life. There's a hole in my heart, and something's got to fill it up. And the first thing we think is physical safety. When you're a little kid, you're running to mommy or daddy, hold me, hold me. I'm lonely, I'm sad, and you get a hug. Right? Well, we don't have that same, now we're mature and we're like, I'm lonely, I'm sad. Fill me up, where's the sex? So as you're moving forward, consider how you're going to sit with this. You've got to find ways to fill these holes in your life. Okay? You can't replace it. You can't replace it. And while you're thinking about, can I ever love again, or can I ever love like that again? I want to invite you to listen to this video that I'm putting a link for here. And I'll also put it down below if you miss it. And this video here is going to talk to you about your ability to be able to love again. And I have many other ones about being ready or not, and what that looks like. So protect yourself, protect your heart, and recognize that you have a responsibility, that if you're engaging with another human being, no matter how hurt you've been, that this person, even if they're like, hey, let's just hook up, may start to feel for you. Because when someone's had a loss, most good people, they feel bad for you. They want to help you, they want to love you, they want to support you. And there's so many good, loving, chivalrous men out there. They want to, help and take care of the widow. And, and then there's so many compassionate women out there that they want to love and support the man and in his loneliness, his healing journey. And those are the people that really get hurt. Your responsibility to those people. Now, if you have somebody that's strictly a hookup that doesn't care about you and you don't care about them, and that works out for you, that's just great. But don't feel crazy that you have this widow's fire, that you're losing your mind because you need to be touched, because all you can think about is sex, and then all you can think about is your late spouse. You're not crazy, but it is a recipe for someone to potentially get hurt. So proceed with caution. With caution. And to not complicate your situation any more than necessary. As widows, we don't have a right to haphazardly engage with another person where we could potentially actually really hurt them. I want to invite you to watch other of my videos to be able to help assess if you're ready or not, and meet with a therapist. You could meet with me for some coaching and consultation. There's a link below in the description here if you'd like to meet with me, and you could message me through my website. But whatever you choose, connect with other people. So you're not alone with these thoughts and feelings. So you're not feeling crazy. So you know that this is normal in grief, even if it wasn't normal for you before. And that longing that you have for your late spouse, it's expressing itself in a sexual desire, is your brain's way of trying to make sense of what happened and to try to protect you and fill in the gap because it senses that there's some danger in that. And so it's like, okay, you're hungry, go eat. You're starving, your stomach's growling and disturbing the people around you. You want to put some food in it. So you need to do something. Evaluate your situation. Evaluate your emotional state. Evaluate your actual options. Take responsibility. Is it safe? Is it kind? Is it wise? And if you can say yes to those three things, kind to yourself and kind to the other person, meaning you're both on the same page in a complete agreement with what's going to happen and what's not going to happen, and you can speak your truth clearly, okay? You have a backup plan to take care of yourself and your safety. Okay. Now, if you're open to love, truly open to love, now that's a different topic. If you're truly ready, that's a different topic. Again, ready. Investigate what that looks like. Got the other videos on my channel. Get some help and support. First of all, take care of yourself. If you take good care of yourself, you're less at risk to hurt someone else or to take someone down the pain path with you, because this does get better. And this love that you have in you needs to go somewhere. So finding an expression for it is going to be important. If you can take some of the steam off the top, which might be self-pleasuring, it also might be getting massage. It might be doing some service work for other people, putting the energy somewhere, because it is an energy. It's got to go somewhere. You know, when a system fritzes out, where's energy? It sparks, they go everywhere, right? The energy's going out in the atmosphere. I don't know, it's going somewhere. But you've got to reroute it. Consider how you're going to do that. And when you reroute the energy, you have to do it consciously. So you're making a choice in that moment. Okay, I'm going to take some energy and I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to go to the food bank and volunteer. It's, this time of year right now, I'm making this video, there's probably lots of opportunities to go volunteer. Or I'm going to go put some extra time into running around with the grandkids. Or I'm going to put extra time in doing some crafts, or I'm going to go build something, but do something constructive with the energy. It's going to help take off some of the steam, right? And I hope that some of this has been useful or helpful for you, at least to be able to sit with other people, knowing that there's other people out there watching this. Look at the numbers in the video, okay? There's going to be, 5, 10, 20, 100, 1,000, who knows, watch this video. And they do know that you're not alone in this widow's fire. So I wish you very good luck. And also I want to recommend this website right here. It's a lot of support for widows and widowers, only for widows and widowers. And it's called Soaring Spirits International, soaringspirits.org. Go check them out. Tons of support and be able to connect with other people. Chat rooms 24/7. You do have to be a widow and they will make you prove it. Highly recommend it. For all of you out there, much love to all of you. You're not alone. This does get better. There is a solution to every problem. Grief doesn't go away overnight. You have to grow around it. And I hope for all of you that you can do so as wisely as possible. And when you're not perfect about it, be compassionate with yourselves And for you, those of you dating widows and widowers, you also need to choose wisely. You have to take care of yourselves and protect yourselves as well. Everybody deserves compassion. May you have it for yourself first and foremost. So, good night.